Alive. Welcome to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and Friends. I am Laura Simmons.
I am Margaret Green, real estate queen.
And this is our special
Yes,
co-host for today.
What's up, everybody? How is everybody doing?
we doing good.
We good. So, we're gonna get started with our real estate queen. First, we're gonna ask her, let her tell us a little bit about give us a little gold nugget for today.
Well, I want to talk about being not being afraid to take that plunge into the real estate investing or being your buying that first property. You just have to make sure you get some things ready. There are some programs out here that you can buy where you can partner with people to buy real estate. But I always think it's always good to start out with your own first.
Mhm.
Try to get your first property first. That way you can get a little bit more. You can do your trial and error then, and once you get through that part of it, then it becomes a little bit more easier to go into it if you partnered with someone, because then that way you're not the blind leading the blind. So don't be afraid to take that jump into real estate. Go for it. I did, and that's my gold
Okay.
nugget for today.
Yeah, remember Tuesday when you was talking about the penalty of being African American and buying a house or trying to sell it or whatever, and you get the what is it called, the
Appraisal.
uh appraisal. Yeah, I actually seen an article on the news today. They was talking about African Americans being penalized for
Hmm.
being African American
American being
when it comes
discriminated.
to being buying properties and selling their properties, that they getting discriminated against. And I
Yeah,
just really thought that was really crazy.
yeah,
that
and
that
it is real. It
yeah.
is real. It's happening
Mhm.
every day. But the thing about it is, it's been happening for a long time. We just didn't know it.
Mm-mm. The penalty for being black, man.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is so true. It's so sad.
Yeah.
So, my hot topic for today, my hot topic, my hot topic for today was is going to be about I'm going to get into celebrity gossip first. Okay, so my first celebrity gossip is about Wendy Williams. So people was talking about Wendy Williams, and they were saying things about her health is declining and things like that. So her son
Yeah, I heard about that.
came and he posted, and he said, this is what he said, when the hate don't work, they start telling lies. I know that's right.
Wow. That is very true.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so
That is
he had
very
to
true.
shut it down because folks were saying things about his mom, and that's crazy you know
Yeah, that's
Wow.
very true. Yeah, because I saw that post too.
Saying disparaging. That's what happens when you say disparaging stuff about somebody. You have to shut it down, or you have to put it in check, or put some people
Hmm.
in check. That's how it works.
That's very
Mhm.
true. That is very true.
And somebody posted, it happens. My friend is an appraiser. Yeah, it does. It happens to us a lot more than it should, though.
Exactly.
And yeah,
And I had it happen to me more than once, so it's not a fun feeling. It's not.
hmm,
I
yeah,
think the worst part is when you have it happen to you,
Crazy.
and then the person will
I'm
come
still I'm
behind
still
you
bugging off
and
somebody. Folks
sell.
is decide they want to say some disparaging stuff about somebody, and then all of a sudden probably get mad when a relative of theirs or the actual person that the stuff is being spoke about decides they want to shut it down or shut them down.
oh, you talking about the Wendy
Yeah,
Williams stuff?
yeah,
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 Who
yeah,
does
that
that?
is. Yeah, that's true. Because they were saying that he was mad at his mom himself. They were saying
yeah. He
there
was.
was all kinds of rumors going around and stuff, and they were saying bad stuff about him, and that how he treated his mom, and how he was not. not taking care of her and all this other stuff, and he hated her and all this. They were saying all kinds of
Mm.
craziness about her, but I'm so glad that he came out and he's standing up for his mom, because you only get one mom. Once
That's
mom
true.
is gone, that's it, that's all. I
Hmm.
don't
That's it.
care how many friends you have whose mama said that it's okay for you to call them mama, or whatever the case
That's
may
it.
be. Whatever the
It's
case,
not the
it
same.
doesn't, it's not the same, it's not the same.
Mama cannot be replaced. That's
That's
for
it.
sure.
That's right. I miss my mom so much. I was just sitting up there today. My daughter sent me a picture of her and my mom together, and my mom was braiding her hair, and I just instantly teared up. I had tears
Mm.
because of it, because it was just so hard to to believe that she's actually gone, and I can't hug my mama no more, and it
It's
just
funny you
hurt.
said. It's funny you
That's
said it. I
true.
was
And
just talking to a friend of
you only
mine,
get
a
one of those.
coworker.
You get one dad, you get one father, you get one mom, and when they're
That's it.
gone, they're gone.
They're
Yep.
gone. That's true. And my friend was just telling me that today because her mom passed away
Dealing
a
with
week
loss
or
is
two
already
before
something that's difficult
Christmas.
to deal with. Oh, I'm
Hold
sorry. Go
on.
ahead, sweetie.
Yeah, yeah. Her mom passed away a week or two before Christmas just recently, and she told me, she said, Margaret, she said, it's still hard because she said, you know how when that moment when you want to call her and you can't. She said
Mhm.
that is the hardest thing me and my sister are going through right now. We can't call my mom like we used to, and she said it's
Mm.
it's,
Yeah.
it's hard. I said I said it doesn't get easy. To be honest with you, it doesn't.
No.
You can
And people
deal
tell you
with it
it
a
get
little bit
better.
better, but it doesn't get easy.
Right. People tell you it's gonna get better. It'll get better at time. No, it doesn't. It doesn't get better. It just, you just able to like kind of
Cope with it
like
better.
cope with it, exactly. But getting better, it does not get better. When
Nope.
mama is gone and you don't have that person to call and pick up the phone and say, Mom, I'm hurting, I'm in pain,
Mhm.
or Mom, the kids did so and so and so and so, or Mom, just that knowing mama is there is your like a security blanket for you.
Yeah.
So when
Not
mama
only
is
that,
gone, that's it. That's it.
not only
That's all.
that, when you can't go home and get that certain meal that she used to make all the time, and when you come home to visit,
Hmm.
she cook your all your favorites, and you feel
Yep.
special because she fixing those things for you.
Yeah.
I mean that's in itself, or just
Hmm.
hearing a voice.
Yeah. Is
That's
there
it.
anything you wanted to say, Fred, before we get
Mm.
get
Nah,
started with
bring
our guest?
no ma'am. Brent,
Okay.
let's bring our
Okay,
guest on.
I'm gonna put this video in right quick, and then once I put that on, then we'll bring in our guest.
All right.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, so let's get our guest in. So, no further ado, we would like to bring our guest, Paul Lamar Hunter, an author out of Texas, to the show, guys. Are you there, Paul? Paul?
Yes, yes, I am present.
Okay,
Can't
we
see
can't see you.
yet. Your screen is black.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I'm here. The camera says it's on.
You might
You
want to
might
go
turn
out and come
purple.
back in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to put my iPad. Okay. Okay. So I guess we're gonna bring our guest in once he called back in, because right now his screen was not showing up. So
Mm.
he's coming in now. Okay, that should be him right there. Hi Paul, how are you? How are you
Hey,
doing?
I am blessed and I am excited to share my story on your platform, and hopefully it will inspire and motivate and educate men and women around the world.
I know that's right.
Yes,
That's right.
definitely.
Look, God put it in your heart, so it's time for you to tell your story to the world and let everybody know about it. So tell the people a little bit about yourself, Paul.
Well, I am I am the 19th child out of 21 children. Yes, my mother
Ooh,
birthed
Lord.
21 children by my dad. And I know
Ooh.
you ladies and the gentlemen can relate to R. Kelly, his song, There's Nothing Wrong with a Little Bit of Bump and Grind. But it wasn't a little bit of bump and grind. They
It was
was
bump,
bumping and
bump
grinding
and bump.
all the
Right, bump.
time. So
Ooh-wee.
And they
so
didn't even
there
stop at 19. That's the thing.
Look,
so
let me just, what's so funny, Paul, is because I'm thinking to myself, look, I come from a family of 10 and 21. Ooh, child, I could imagine what life was like in your household.
Mm,
you
mm,
know,
mm, mm.
as of today, there are 17 of us living,
Okay.
63 grandchildren and 87 great grandchildren. And I was listening to your ladies talking about, you know, mothers cannot be replaced like fathers can't be replaced. And it's going on 2 years. Next month would be 2 years since my mother had passed away. And for
Oh,
the
sorry to
last
hear.
for the last 2 weeks, I still call my mother's phone,
Yeah.
and I call that number, and I get a disconnection, but I wish I could connect with her one more time, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, because as you sound just like me. I remember when my mother passed away. For the first couple of years, I was calling her constantly. So yeah, I truly understand.
Yeah.
Man, that's a hard deal, man.
Yes, 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 yes. But she did. I think that my mom and dad, uh, they weren't perfect, but I think they were the perfect person that God designed for, especially for her to birth 21 children. And it takes a lot of courage, to
Mhm.
have a lot of children, and it takes a lot of faith, that things are going to work out when you have an abundance of children that you are
Mhm.
bringing in this world. Yes, it was some tough time, it was some difficult time, but we managed to get over those difficult times.
Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you mean.
Mm.
That just thinking back, it's this funny thing how when my mom, she would, when it came down to when she would cook, how she could make a meal stretch so far that she was not only stretching it for her kids, but she was also making sure if somebody came by that was hungry, she would make sure she had something for them too. And we used to say, "Why you always do that?" She said, "My mom always taught me if if you cook, make sure you cook enough for somebody in case somebody else come by your house hungry." So she was always thinking about not only her children and her family, but whoever else came by her house.
And that's the way my mother was. She was always thinking ahead,
Mhm.
always stretching the meal out. And that's one thing I learned from my mother is that no matter what happens in life, never give up. Continue to help people, continue to be a humanitarian to the people in the world.
That's right.
Man,
Yeah.
that's a great thing to have. That's a great thought process to impart on somebody.
Yeah.
Because the world we living in, that's in
Yeah,
short
everybody's
supply.
selfish right now. It's and self-centered. So much, so many of them are self-centered nowadays and thinking about only themselves. You know, and we were talking about this yesterday of how when um, you would years ago when we were coming up, they used to have the rent parties. And when I saw that on Good Times, I said I remember hearing about people used to say they have rent parties because their neighbor needed to pay their rent.
Yeah.
Back in them days, people were really their brother's keeper. Now, not so much, and we have more now than we had then. and yet we just don't do it.
I think
Yeah.
what happened, um, the generation has changed. I think that a lot of the older generation did not train the younger generation. And so some of the stuff that we learn from mom and dad, uh, it's very difficult to try to teach the young people, the next generation about some of those traditions. They don't want to hear it at all.
Yeah.
They just want to ignore it, and they want to make their own legacy. And yes, we are living in a world that people are cynical. They very, very, very cynical, and it's about me. It's not about team, and they think that that it's about them, and they're very selfish. And I think that we'll never accomplish anything when we have a cynical attitude. We all would just basically fall apart. I remember a time I knew my neighbors. Growing up in the 70s and 80s, I knew my neighbors. Mrs. Johnson would see me and I did something wrong. Mrs. Johnson would spank me on my
That's
butt
it.
and then take me home and tell my mama and daddy, and
That's
my
it.
mama and daddy would do the same thing, would discipline me. But
That's it.
now you can't say nothing to these kids, because if you do, the mama or the daddy gonna jump on you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yes, that's serious. But I had a question for you. I'm so happy to have you on the show. First of all, I want to thank you for coming on our show today. What you said? Ursula had a comment. You want to read the comments, Margaret?
She said, "Yep, we got to pass it on."
Mm.
Hmm. That's right. Okay, so um, are you just that? Do you do? I don't mean it like that, but I want to say, do you just write as an author, or do you do other things besides just writing? I
Uh,
seen you on a couple of shows recently.
yeah, I do write. Also, I like to volunteer at Boys and Girls Club, Big
Mhm.
Brothers and Sisters, the
Mhm.
YMCA. I like to deal with at-risk youth in our community, because it's my job to pass it on to the next generation. It's my job to really go out and inspire young men and women, to let them know that the end is better than the beginning. And I share my life story as growing up in a family of 20 siblings, and how it was difficult for us. But I
Mhm.
kept my vision, I kept my faith, I kept a positive attitude, and I was determined to become a successful man and be an advocate in the community. So in 2012, I became the first in my family to graduate from college. So what inspired me to graduate from college is looking at my father's lineage and looking at my mother's lineage, and I discovered that no one on my father's side or my mother's side graduated from college. So that really motivated me to lay the foundation and be the first. There's nothing wrong with being the first. So I became the first to graduate from Upper Iowa University, where I have my Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration. Since I laid the foundation, I want to tell other young men and women that they can become the first in their family. So when I graduated, a lot of my nieces and nephews started to go back to college, and they received their degrees. And I'm very
Good.
pleased that they had received their degrees, bachelor's degrees, master's degrees. I have a nephew right now who is working on his PhD. But my job was to lay the foundation. And that's
Mhm.
what I'm doing for this generation. It's laying the foundation.
That's right. Ursula said, "Congratulations."
All
Oh
right.
yeah.
Thank
Big
you.
congratulations to you, brother.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's a. I
congratulations.
give you
That's
big
that's a
ups for that.
milestone.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
I have a question. How do you communicate your struggles and your successes to young people in this generation that automatically, because some of them are automatically don't believe that they can do better, especially those young men to be on the corner hanging out and they want to they want to sell drugs, they want to do this, they want to, and then you try to tell them, you can do better than this. Your life can be better than this. How do you get through it, or have you come in contact with any that you have been able to get through and that you saw the finishing product afterwards?
I think sharing my story, and not only my story, but other people's story, and I tell them that this is my story, this is this woman's story, this is this other person's story. But if you notice, they made a decision. They made a decision to, all right, I'm going to walk this journey, this positive journey, instead of walking this negative journey. So a lot of people, especially young people that are at risk to go to jail, go to prison, because that's the title that they gave me. But I turn everything around, and I tell them that they can turn everything around. The friends that you think are your friends are really not your friends. And so what you have to do is separate yourself. And that's what I did. I separated myself from some of my friends, even some of my relatives. I had to separate myself. And I walked this journey alone. But in the meantime, I surrounded myself with positive women and men that helped me on this journey. And you can't be afraid to ask people for help. And I was never afraid to ask people for help. And so I tell young people all the time that you can change, but it starts with your mind, your mindset. And once you say, I'm going to change, you got to separate yourself from negative people.
That's very true.
Yeah, that is so true.
That's
Yeah,
powerful.
yeah, that is. It make me think about my book, Little Brothers Hear Me Out and Little Sisters Listen Up. In that book, I mentioned the same exact things that you were saying about the sometimes we have to separate ourselves from people. Sometimes it be our own family members that we have to separate ourselves from, and sometimes it be friends that we have been knowing all our life. Because for that very reason, because if not, they will pull you down. In some cases, that's what happens because they can't stand to see you doing something positive. So, what, who are some of your favorite authors?
Oh, I like reading books that's going to motivate me, improve spiritually, academically, socially, emotionally. I like a book from Joyce Meyer called the Battlefield of the Mind. I think it's an extraordinary book.
Yeah.
I love the book because there's a lot of things that people are battling, and it's the mind. And that mind right there is very powerful. And once people recognize that they uh, have a powerful mind, they can do wonders in this world. But the Bible talks about renewing your mind, and
Yes.
that's what a lot of men and women must do in order to become successful, is to renew their mind. And a lot of things that we grew up we thought was normal, but as we began to grow spiritually and academically, we discovered that it was abnormal.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's
that is
very
so
true.
true. It's so funny you said that because a guest said, I had a guest that came on about a few months back, and the guest was talking about how, as a child, we all used to eat certain, things that our parents was given to us, and we thought that because our parents was giving us these certain things to eat, that it was correct for us to eat that on a regular. So he was saying that, and because of that, a lot of us eat wrong because that was the way we were raised. We were raised to eat certain things that we should not be eating. We were raised to eat it, so we think it's right to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
tell you what, this is one thing that my mama used to always cook. When we didn't have nothing, mama used to go in that kitchen and make some homemade biscuit, and we would eat it with syrup. And she'll
Yep,
put us to bed.
that's it.
She'll pray over that food, girl. Woo, that biscuit and that hot syrup would do the job.
Yep,
And
And then
that
that
what
and
she said. And
cornbread.
And
Cornbread
she
was
said,
another
what she
one.
would tell you, she would tell you that she said, with long as you got a piece of bread and some water, and that stomach will grow.
That's it.
And she was so right. That is
That is
so
so
funny
true.
because you sound just like us as we were growing up. Of how our mama used to say the same thing to us. If she ain't had nothing but some cornmeal and some flour, she make us some. We used to call it kachima bread.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
We had
goodness.
a name for it. Yeah, we had a name for it. We called it kachima bread. And we used to max. But guess what? We
Mhm.
didn't go to bed hungry. Our
No,
stomach wasn't growling when we went to sleep. So
no.
yeah.
Put that milk or
Yes.
get some milk
That's the
and some
good part
sugar
about
or
it.
some
Our stomach
water
did
if you
not.
ain't had no milk.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make it work.
Yep.
All you cared about is that your stomach was full. That's all you cared
Exactly.
about. You know, and
Yep.
remember them bologna sandwiches?
Oh
You
yeah.
put that burnt bologna on that, man. See, they don't know about that. They don't know about bologna.
But you know what? I still eat bologna.
Yeah,
I still
and
love
I
me some
still like
burnt
it burnt
bologna.
too.
Yep. That is hilarious. So,
Mhm.
what are some of your interests outside of writing?
Well, right now, in March, I will be doing a sit down interview on the Nick Cannon show. I'm still in the
Okay.
process of negotiating with the Kelly Clarkson show as well,
Mm.
and so also my book, No Love, No Charity: The Success of the 19th Child, that has been adapted into a screenplay. We had pitched
Mm.
it to a lot of production companies, but there's one which is Paramount that is really in the negotiation stage, and we are going back and forth. And so hopefully, in the next couple of months, that deal will be done because it's a great story. You know, anytime you write a book and you got people from Hollywood, big name producers and directors interested in a story. I think it's amazing. This book is made for TV. It talks about my childhood life. It talks about the drama. It talks about the death of my brother Thomas, the death of my father. It talks about the relationships that I had with my siblings, my mom, my dad, my children, and at the end it talks about victory, and that victory is how I broke barriers to become the first child out of 21 to graduate from college. So that's the reason why I have to emphasize that the end is always better than the beginning.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that is
So
so
true.
true.
I think that's
So
one of
Yeah.
the
true.
Clark sisters wrote a song about your latter days will be greater than your former.
Yes, and that's
And
very
that's
true.
mhm.
Mm.
You
That's
just got
what's
to
up.
know it and speak on it.
Yeah. So once I make the appearance,
Hmm. What
and
motivated
they
you to write your book?
it's just learning my mother and my father lineage and just discovering that no one on their side graduated from college, and so that right there gave me a lot of strength to move forward, to be determined, and just lay the foundation. You know, a lot of people around the world, and they contact me and tell me all the time that my story is inspirational. I remember being in Phoenix, Arizona, living there for a while, and I was commuting on the light rail, and this lady came and she sat down next to me. There's something that I had said, and I said, Lord, please don't let her sit next to me. And she sat next to me, and so we began to
Right.
we began we began to engage in a conversation. And so she asked, "What's your name?" And I told her, "It's Paul Lamar Hunter." And then she said, "You Paul Lamar Hunter?" And I said, "Yeah." She said, "My brother saw you on television while he was in prison. You were on the show called The Morning Blend in Tucson, Arizona." I said, "Yeah, I was on that show." She said, "My brother saw you while he was in prison with the other inmates. And My brother always thought that he had a difficult life until you shared your story. And he had me to purchase your book, and I sent it to the prison, and it changed his life.
Wow.
So that right there was very encouraging to hear that my book had changed somebody's life. And that's what it does. It will grab your attention from start to finish.
That's true.
And the
Man.
funny thing, you said you was trying not to sit, not for her not to sit next
Yeah.
to you.
Well,
See
that's
how
funny because
God's
it's like
blessings come to you.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like you can't run from your purpose.
No, no,
Exactly.
you can't.
So I
Mhm.
had a question for you, Paul. So looking at what you've written, what what lessons or what teachable moments do you want people to gain when they read your book? This is just not limited to older adults. It's also for younger adults. So what teachable moments or lessons you want folks to gain from reading this book?
It's just to be honest, you know. Never be afraid to talk about your weaknesses, and always ask questions. Always believe in yourself, and once you do that, you can become the best person that God had designed for you to be, and always have a spirit of never giving up.
Mhm.
Very important. Very
Thanks for that
important.
advice, because sometimes we have a tendency sometimes to give up on our dreams because it's not happening right then and there for us. So we just figure, oh, well, it's not working, so it's no need for me to try it. You know.
Yeah,
But
yeah. And when it comes to young people, uh, I don't know if y'all have kids, but when you look at kids and they like 1 years old and they trying to, they crawling at first, they crawling, and then
Mhm.
they start gaining strength in their legs, and then they take those couple of steps, and we there to cheer them on, we there to motivate them. But
Mhm.
Mhm.
as we become adults, everything changed because other adults don't want to cheer you on,
No.
don't want to motivate you. You
Mhm.
understand?
Yep.
Yeah.
It all stopped because when you begin to share your vision and your dreams, they don't see you in that image, but
No.
Mhm.
you see yourself in that image, and that's the most important thing, is how you see yourself.
Yes,
And see,
sir.
I had to build myself up. I had to tell myself that I am a writer, I am smart, I am bright, I am intelligent, I am
Confession.
kind, I am determined. And those words begins to seep down
Mhm.
in my
Manifest.
subconscious mind, and then I begin to walk in that.
Yes,
Mhm.
Lord. I know that's right. Ursula said great advice. And then she said, what she say? Say
She
that
can say
again,
that.
Paul. Say that, Paul. That's what she said.
Yeah.
And so that's how she said it. Say that, Paul. So do you so you when you wrote, okay, you have how many books out?
I have one book, but I have two more coming out. I'm planning on having this one come out on Valentine's Day. Why women stay in bad relationship, and so
It's
I
very
have
Christian.
another one coming out. My editor that edited the book, he had told me, he said, you should have wrote a book why men stay in bad relationships.
That
And
would be
so
appropriate.
Well, because
his wife, his wife looked at him and said, "What?"
Like that sound like fight words.
But yeah, like look, hey Paul, you need to go in the corner over here. We'll be right back.
what was the most difficult part of your writing process? What was the most difficult part for you?
I think the most difficult part was just getting up in the middle of the night and just writing for hours, and then what it did for me, it brought healing. It was cathartic for me. It brought healing into my life because I had so many thoughts in my head, and I turn those thoughts and I put it on paper, because there's a lot of stuff that men and women have on the inside that they want to get out,
That's true.
and they have to get it out, and I had to get this out of me, because it brought healing into my life. And I always told myself that I'm not taking anything to my grave whatsoever. I'm gonna leave everything out here to to help other people. And there's when you go past the grave site and you just drive past there are billions of dollars
That's true.
In the grave.
inside that grave site. That
Mhm.
means there's a lot of men and women that did not live
Into the
out their
purpose.
dreams,
Mhm.
their
Mhm.
purposes. And
Mhm.
so they took it to the grave. I'm not taking it to the grave, baby.
Yeah, I know
I'm
that's
sharing it.
right.
I'm sharing it. I'm
I know
sharing it
that's
with the
right.
world.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You got like right now you got me kind of a little emotional because I'm just listening to what you're saying and I'm just thinking about my own self right now and some things that that I'm dealing with myself and it's just so funny that you said those things because it's like it's so emotional to me. It makes me emotional right now.
Yes.
So I truly appreciate God speaking through you to me.
Yeah. And you know, I had my pastor's wife said this one time. She said she don't want to die and get to heaven and see all the stuff that she didn't do
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
say, you were supposed to do this and you didn't do this.
Hmm.
So she said, and I said, that makes sense. That really
Yeah.
does because yeah, we all want to get there, but do you want to get there with work left undone? No.
Mhm. No.
So she said, I want to be raggedy and finished. I want everything out. I want to have get done everything I needed to do. And that makes sense. You do. He
Mhm.
created you for a purpose, so you need to do it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
good.
That's it.
Mhm. Okay, so are you happy in your writing career? Are you happy
Am-
with it?
I am tremendously happy where I'm at.
Okay.
I'm 51 years old. I have four children that God blessed me with, two girls and two boys, and I have a granddaughter that's 3 years old. So I am pleased, but I'm still hungry, and I want more out of life.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with
I
that.
gotta give you a clap for that one because
That's what's
man,
up,
you
man.
sound like me. You sound just like me. It's so funny. You sound just like me. And it's so funny because I be talking to Frederick all the time and I was telling him that we need to collaborate. I would love
Exactly.
to collaborate with you as well, Paul. It would be an honor to collaborate with you and Frederick on a project together where we maybe put a stage play together or a movie together. And Ursula is another one that
Mm-hmm.
I would. It would be a great idea if all four of us get together and collaborate on something. And we are from different places. I'm from Chicago. You're Texas. Freddie
Georgia.
and yeah, they're from yeah. Him
Mm-hmm.
her, and him Ursula from the same place, Atlanta, right?
Yep.
And then Margaret is from
I'm
Carolina.
from Chicago, but I'm
I'm
original,
down.
but I'm right here in South Carolina. We can use that here. We sure
I'm
Yeah.
can.
down.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
think it would be really good if we all put our mind together, come up with a major project. Who knows? We can it may go somewhere very far because we all got some ideas that's basically similar, and I think it will really be major. It will be a major move for all four of us. It will be a
Yes, it
major
will.
move for us. You know,
Yeah.
um, I have a
Mhm.
friend that is a producer. Actually, she's a producer and she has her own production company here in Chicago. And maybe I can talk to her about working with us on a project, all four of us on a project together. You know,
Oh,
I think
okay.
I think that would be really great if we could all do something like that because your story is similar to my story. I come from a large family as well. And like I said, I come from a family of 10. And the ups and downs that I have seen through my life as a young lady, um, it was crazy. I don't even know. Sometimes I had to think to myself sometime, I don't even know how my mom managed to put a meal on our table, how my parents actually managed to put a meal on our table with all of us, and coming, we all lived in, like, we lived in a 3-bedroom apartment, I mean a 2-bedroom apartment. So the third bedroom, to me, was the dining room, really, but it was actually, we had a 2-bedroom apartment, and it was 6 girls in one room, the boys was in the dining room, and then mom and dad in the other room. So it was 12 of us in this one apartment. And I could just imagine what life was like for you as coming up with 21 children in a household, you know.
Man.
I'll tell you what, it was difficult, but I enjoy Sundays because my mom would get us up early, and she will have us in the kitchen cooking with her and my dad, and then at 10 o'clock we would go to church. But she will have one of my brothers and one of my sisters to stay behind to make sure the food is done. And I remember all the time the pastor used to always come over by the Hunter family house so he can sit at the table and eat that soul food, that fried chicken and ham hocks and cornbread and
Yes, sir.
sweet potato pie and candy yams, greens, and he that pastor loved to come over there and just eat. And so those little segments on Sundays, it reminds me of the movie Soul Food.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Right. That's right.
Collard greens, catfish.
Oh, the pastor over there doing that.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Hunter's house today. Lord, he in the church doing this. It's almost dinner time. Ursula said, "I know how Mama did it, but God." Yep, you absolutely right. Because I used to see my mom in the corner all the time praying to God, asking Him to help her with stuff that she was dealing with. And I thank that woman for all the prayers that she sent up for us over the years, and I thank her for it. Yeah.
I think the one thing that I think that stands out, but for you, Laura, and also for you, Paul. I mean, because y'all come from a large family. I find that I don't come from a big family. It was only 5 of us: me, mom, my dad, and my 2 other brothers. So, but what I found in bigger families, that there's strength in numbers.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's always going to be that one, an older or a younger sibling that's always going to be able to, either pick you up when you're feeling a little down, and you're always going to have someone that's either above you or below you to always someone to hang out with or to play with and things of that nature. And it's never a dull moment in the house with a whole bunch of people anyway. At least from my experiences.
Yeah, that's true.
So having the strength in numbers to me means a lot, because like I said, you have there's someone that's above you or there's someone that's below you that can encourage you and keep you going, especially when those hard times hit. Because I know from both I know both of y'all from both sides of the family, there were hard times.
Oh yeah,
definitely. But I think you really didn't back in the 70s and 80s. I don't think you really realized it, because and that's the weirdest thing is that I heard D.L. Hughley say that one time, and he said he didn't even realize he was poor until he got older. And I said, that's true, because back then your parents didn't allow you to know that you didn't have nothing. You thought this was normal to eat cornbread and milk. Because you thought it was normal for you to get, one piece of chicken and whatever, you thought it was normal because you was a kid. You didn't know no better. And you went outside and played it off and come back in the house and get some water. If you come in the house too many times, you say, I ain't trying to cool the whole neighborhood. So you get coming in and out the house. And she said, you come back in here one more time, you staying in the house. So you better not go back in that house.
Oh yeah.
You want to stay outside. So I feel bad for the kids these days, because a lot of them are not going to have those stories, because everything is on social media now. They don't have the run, chief, run and tag and double dutch and all those things that we used to play when we were kids, you know?
Yeah.
And see, that's
stories.
what my family did. I remember my siblings, especially my sisters, they would be in the front yard playing double dutch. All right, and then my father would come home, and then he'll separate us, divide the team up, and we'll be in the backyard playing kickball. Volleyball. Having a running contest. Playing tag.
That's it.
This generation is not going to have social skills. You understand how to interact with other people. They don't have that. They more glued to their cell phones or playing video games.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute. I play video games now. Hold on.
I used to play Pac-Man.
Hold on.
Don't know what I
Don't let the gray hair fool you.
Galactica.
Ursula said, y'all preaching tonight. She said, me and Fred from the DEC. What's that?
Decatur.
Oh, okay. Okay. Decatur.
Where's greater?
Where's greater? And then she said, I know how mama did it. Oh, that's okay. We read that one. Okay. Yeah. But and another question for you. How long have you been writing, or when did you start writing?
I started writing in 2011 when I was in college, and I took a course. I had to take a writing course, and so that's when it really took off. And I began to just put in work, ask questions, and learn how to develop a topic sentence, how to develop a paragraph, how to develop a conclusion. And I just learned about the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives, the infinitives. I learned so much about the English language. And so I decided, you know what? I have the skill set. Let me write the book, which I did. And then I just asked my professor to edit the book. And once he did that, he was just excited because he told me, he said, you came a long way in your writing skills and just keep improving. And that's when he, having a conversation with him, he said, I'm going to tell you the secret. He said, writers write books, editors edit books.
Mm-hmm.
That's
true.
Wow.
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Yep. Yeah. A lot of people think it's so simple to pick up a pen and a piece of paper and just write a book, but it's not as simple as people think it is. It's a process, and it takes some research too as well.
Yeah, it does. But people also don't understand it. It takes
Because what happens is you get people, I don't know if it's as well, and I get a lot of people that inbox me a lot asking me, can you help me out with publishing my book, or tell me how did you get started and this and that, and not knowing that it takes research. It's research. And now I understand why so many folks that have written books, and you ask them questions about writing a book or whatever the case may be, they charge to give you information. And I understand now, because as an author myself, I find myself with people asking me for a whole bunch of information. They don't want to go and do the research themselves. They want you to just give them the information. And, it's okay to give some information. It's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not going to give you the whole details on how to write your book or how it should be published and all that stuff. I'm not going to. I had to research it. Believe me, through trial and error, it took a lot to publish 10 books. That was not easy. And guess what? I didn't have anyone that really helped me along the way. I did it on my own, but I did research on the way to get to where I have published and written and published 10 books. So, but I just wanted to say that because, a lot of times people don't think that they think it's real simple and it's real easy to write a book, and it's not. It's a process.
Never at all. And even to add to that, it's a lot of people don't understand that there's an emotional toll that comes with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes when you write books that are about heavy subjects, maybe such as mental health or depression, mental health or domestic violence, or even something or anything like, or even writing about yourself, putting your own story out there. There's an emotional toll and investment in that. And because you're invested emotionally, then all of a sudden, then, I mean, when you write, you come to a spot where you can't go any further, or it takes you back to a moment in your youth or in your adulthood, and the tears are just streaming down your face. People don't understand that there's that emotional toll and aspect to it as well, because you're putting yourself out there on paper. And
you're being
a
very
lot of people say, well,
vulnerable.
you don't do that. No, as a writer, your life bleeds into that page.
It's
And people don't
emotional.
get that. They're like, well, that's not emotional. Yeah, it is, because I'm writing about me, or I'm writing about something that happened to me, or that happened to someone that was close to me.
Question. So, what advice would you give to a writer working on their first book? What advice would you give them?
The best advice I can give them is that if they are a college graduate, or if they're not, go to a local college and ask a professor if he or she can uh, help them along the way. Tell them, hey, this is a project that I'm working on. I'm working on this book. I need someone to edit it, and I'm willing to pay. And that's when you're going to learn from that professor or from that editor, um, uh, what 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 it means to edit a book. And so, for example, my book, I learned, so much about writing and developing those paragraphs and adding to it and getting making sure that I have detailed information in there to keep the reader's attention. So, best advice is for a writer is just go find an editor, and the best editor to find and to save money is to visit these local colleges and speak with an English teacher and tell the English teacher, hey, this is the project that I'm working on. I need your assistance. Can you edit my book for me? You will save a lot of money,
The money.
because
Yeah.
a professional editor will cost you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
true because when I wrote my first two books, I had my daughter's one of my daughter's teachers. Her and I became good friends, and she was my editor for my books. The first
Yeah.
two children books that I put out, she was my editor. So yeah, it is. It's very important to find a good editor for your books and things like that. What I was going to say, how do you use your social media as an author?
When I use it just basically to promote if I'm in magazines or newspaper publications, and that's what I basically use it for. And also, like if you, a person like you or someone else, want to interview me, and I would use it to tag other people and let them know that I'm doing this interview, and ask them to tune in, because social media really has changed the game. It wasn't around 10, 30, 20, 30 years ago, but now you can really make your story go viral on social media.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, social media is something powerful. A lot of people don't realize it, but it's very powerful. It helps with so much stuff. And
When
it can mess up your career too.
Yeah.
yeah. When using the proper in the proper way, yes, it'll help. It'll help. But in using the incorrect way, yeah,
Oh
downward
yeah.
turn, not
You can
good.
do some you can do some damage. Yeah.
Big
So
time.
how can people find you, Paul, if they
Oh,
wanted to find?
yeah, okay. They can go to my website, paullamarhunter.com. I'm on all social media platforms under paullamarhunter.com. My book, No Love, No Charity, The Success of the 19th Child, it's available at Barnes& and Nobles, Amazon.com. Also, you can also get my mom's book. My mom's book is still out there, and it is Love and Charity, the life story of Louise Hunter in the homeless shelter. So her
Oh,
book is still available at Barnes and Nobles and also Amazon.com as well. So there's two books out there, Love and Charity and No Love and No Charity. Both books are extraordinary books. It gives detailed information about my mom's life, and my book gives detailed information about my life. But I go in and I talk about the relationships of my siblings and the different personalities that my siblings have growing up.
yeah. Yeah, I know that was something else too, because I know in our household it was one person might be in a good mood, another person may not.
Yep.
Yeah. I gotta ask you this question because I know as we were when we were growing up. So if one person did something wrong, did you all get in trouble?
Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we
Yes.
did. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, we did. Yep.
That
that's
was in
it.
our household too.
Hmm.
And everybody mad at that person that got everybody in trouble.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And
Man,
that
you got
person.
us in trouble.
Mhm.
So yeah, y'all had your own basketball team, football team too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball team.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
and soccer team.
Yep.
Man,
And cheerleaders.
exactly.
So how
Mhm.
many sisters do you have?
11 sister that my mom gave birth to, and 10 boys she gave birth to.
Wow.
Wow.
Woo-wee.
Hmm. So
And
I'm
she
gonna tell
wanted
you
her.
this: she won more championships than Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Wow. I bet.
Facts. Big fact.
How tall was your mom?
My mom was 5'9".
Oh wow.
Okay.
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 Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Because my
she wasn't no big woman. You know, she was probably about 135, 140. She was never a big woman at all.
a lot of
But
times
was the heavyweight champion
because
in
my
the
mom
house.
was yeah, exactly. Because my mom was 5 feet and she was the same way. It's you just thought. I remember one time she was getting ready to give my brother a whooping, and my brother thought about him running going up under the bed, but he got away. And these were bunk beds, and back in the day, those were some heavy bunk beds with that metal type thing, the way the mattress used to sit on.
Yeah.
And so my brother, my brother went up under the bed, thought he was getting away. My mom lifted up that whole thing like she was Hercules, and he holding on to the thing. he holding on to it. She wore him out. She did not care. And you all you can think is where did she get that strength from?
Yeah.
Like, I
Yep.
mean, Lord have mercy.
I mean,
Mm.
even with me, it was what me and my other two brothers plus my dad. My mom's the only woman in the house, but she's the undisputed heavyweight champion in the house.
Hmm.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
almost like it's like how they used to say, how you see and behind you, you ain't in front of me, so how you know what I just did? I know what you did. Now get over here. So that or you get that extension cord or whatever mama got her hand on, you was getting it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
now
that
they
back
call
in the
that
day.
abuse though.
Mhm.
Back in the day they didn't call it that, but now they call that abuse.
And that's why we
But
got
I
so many
think that's
problems with the
probably why we have
kids.
so many problems with these kids nowadays too,
Mhm.
because nobody do anything to them and stuff like that back then when we were
Discipline.
coming up.
Yeah,
Yep.
the
They
village
doing
is gone
timeout.
too.
Hmm.
They want to do
Um.
timeout.
Yeah. What is the most important element of good writing that you think? What is the most important element of good writing?
I think the most important thing is just learning the basics. Once you learn the basics of grammar and you get it into your subconscious mind, everything will click. If you learn the basic, everything will click. And a lot of people don't want to learn basic grammar and they just want to just write. But you got to learn the basic. If you learn the basics, learn that foundation, your writing skills can take off.
Right. Yeah, that's true. This is true. So we're winding down, y'all. So I'm gonna give you a chance, Paula. Let people know again where they can find your books at, and how they can find you to check you out.
Well, the title of my book, No Love, No Charity, The Success of the 19th Child. That book is available at Barnes & Noble's website, Amazon.com. Also, the book has been adapted into a screenplay. I am available for interviews, speaking engagements. You can visit my website, paullamarhunter.com. I'm on all social media outlets under Paul Lamar Hunter.
Okay. So do you have a PR, Paul, that work for
I,
you?
I'm my own PR.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because that's interesting. I've seen you on so many interviews and stuff on different talk shows and things like that, and I was like really impressed with your resume. Very good job.
Yes.
Yeah, you might want to consider being a PR for somebody else. So yeah, that's very good. But you have like an agent. Oh yeah, she just asked the same question. Do you have like an agent that worked with you? And you said no.
No, I do. I do all my PR work myself. So which is great, because
Mhm.
I had my story profile in Ebony magazine twice. So I'm great about that. Very
Oh wow,
grateful.
that's
Oh
good.
wow. Okay. Um, what I was gonna say, yeah, like I said, I seen you on a lot of interviews, so I thought that was really cool. One more thing before we get ready to roll up out of here. What is your favorite part of publishing a book? What was your favorite part about publishing your book?
The favorite part was reading it, and then holding the book once the book was done, and then you just hold on to it, and you just say, "Man, I can't believe that I have, achieved this goal in writing this book, and now it's going to change people's lives." So that's the favorite part for me.
Yeah.
It's just seeing the project completed.
Yeah, that is, and when you receive that book in the mail, and you open that box, and then you pull out that book and you show it, and it's like it's so amazing. That's an amazing feeling.
Yes,
You have one of your books on you, so you can show to the people.
yes, I do. Here it is, right here,
Okay,
right there.
Okay.
I do have a commercial where I can show it.
Awesome.
Also, let me see. I'm gonna see if I can put it up here on the screen so people could see your book. Um, yeah, here it is. I'm gonna put it up there on the screen. Okay, hold on,
Okay.
y'all. So people can see. This is his books right here. Um, um,
Okay. Break it
okay.
down.
Yeah. So make sure y'all go check Paul Lamar Hunter out. Make sure that you guys follow him on Instagram. Um, you on Facebook too?
Yes, I am on Facebook. Yes, I am.
Okay, Facebook, and you got TikTok account too?
I'm on TikTok. You can see me on TikTok acting a fool, girl.
I'm still trying to figure that out. I can't even understand
What
none of that.
TikTok?
Nah, I can't get none of that. I can't understand none of that.
What
Me
TikTok?
either.
I love
Yeah.
Nah.
TikTok. I'm on
Me
TikTok too.
either. I
I
have
have
not been
TikTok.
able to haven't I haven't been
Yeah.
able to do that. I would love
I'm
to.
gonna stick to my video games.
All right, Paul. Well, it was nice talking to you, and we got to keep in contact too, because like I said, I think that I got an idea for you, Freddie and Frederick and
Oh,
Ursula
Freddie,
for us
cool.
to
You call
do.
me that too?
Okay, all right. I don't want. How sometimes people get mad and be like, "Oh, my name is."
Nah, I don't got no
They
preference with that.
call
I
me
respond to
Mr.
everything.
What she said? It's bomb free advertisement. Okay, it's magic. Me too. And great show. She said. All right, guys. So we're gonna let Paul go, and then we're gonna take these last 3 minutes and tell people where they can go to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and everything. Thank you, Paul, for being a guest on our show
Thank you,
today.
Paul.
Hey, thanks. Appreciate
All
it.
right, all
Bye
right.
bye.
You have a good
Have a good
night.
one, sir.
You
All
All
right,
right.
too.
all right. Bye. Great show. That was great. What
Yes,
was that?
indeed.
I put something up
Oh,
there.
goodness.
Oh, that was me. My bad. Because
Okay.
I couldn't hear Margaret. So
Oh, okay. So you can hear us now. Okay, people, please go to our Instagram page, Inspirational Talks with L_Simmons. Go to our YouTube channel, which is Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and Friends. And make sure you subscribe and follow us and, check us out. Check us out. We're going to show this one more video before we go. And that will.
Cool.
All right, and then I want to show one more thing. So anybody else have something they wanted to say before we get ready to go?
They
no,
can just
ma'am.
follow
Great
me.
show. Thank you for
Okay,
having me
let
on.
me share this one. Okay, well, hold on before we get to that. I want to show this right quick. Make sure
All
that you
right.
guys go and check out my books as well. www.motherdaughterteenbooks.com and purchase one of the books. You got Little Brothers Hear Me Out, Little Sisters Listen Up, and Want to Get Out of That Fast. So check me out. Okay, now go ahead. Sorry, Fred.
No, you good. No worries. Thank you. Thank you for having me on as a guest. I appreciate that. I had fun tonight. Thank y'all.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
appreciate you
we
coming
appreciate
on
you.
and being a part of our show today. We really appreciate it.
We enjoyed it.
Ursula appreciated as well. She told me to tell you thank you so much. She's sending love hugs and prayers and hugs and stuff out to you.
Oh,
And
since it
she
ain't no problem. No problem. Anytime y'all want me to come on as a guest, I'm be more than happy to come on.
Oh, that's cool. And she said to tell y'all the TikTok it ain't nothing wrong with having TikTok.
Well, that'd be talking
I ain't
ticking
messing with
because I
that.
can't. I don't know.
She said, love y'all family. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Inspirational Talks with Laura Simmons and Friends. We appreciate you tuning in. Make sure that you share, like our show, and share it with other people that did not get a chance to see the live viewing of the show. They can go back and watch the show. It's a pre-recorded. All right, guys. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.